I thought my life was perfect. I really did. I had a beautiful wife, a job I enjoyed, and a future that seemed brighter every single day. My wife, Chloe, she was everything to me. Her smile could light up the darkest room, and her laughter was my favorite sound in the world. We had been married for 5 years, and I was convinced we had another 50 ahead of us. We built a life together, brick by brick, filled with inside jokes, shared dreams, and a love I believed was unshakable. Looking back now, it's funny how quickly a perfect life can crumble into dust. It all started so subtly, with little things I brushed aside. Late nights at the office became more frequent. Phone calls were taken in the other room. There was a new distance between us, a coolness I couldn't quite put my finger on. I tried to talk to her about it, asking if she was stressed, if everything was okay at work. She'd always have a plausible excuse, a reassuring smile, and tell me I was overthinking things. And because I loved her, because I trusted her, I believed her. I wanted to believe her. The truth hit me like a physical blow on a random Tuesday afternoon. I'd finished work early and decided to surprise her by picking up her favorite takeout for dinner. I walked into our home calling her name, expecting to see her coming down the stairs. Instead, I heard voices from our bedroom. A man's voice. A deep, unfamiliar laugh. My heart stopped. I crept up the stairs, my body turning to ice. The bedroom door was slightly ajar. I peeked through the crack, and that's when my world shattered. I saw her, my Chloe, with another man. In our bed. In the home we built together. The betrayal was so profound, so absolute it felt like I couldn't breathe. I backed away silently, stumbling down the stairs in a daze. I drove to a park and just sat there for hours, the takeout box growing cold on the passenger seat, replaying that scene in my head until it was burned into my memory. Rage, a pure, white-hot rage I'd never felt before, began to replace the shock and heartbreak. She hadn't just broken my heart. She had humiliated me. She had made a fool of me. In that moment, something inside me snapped. The loving husband was gone, and in his place was a man who wanted one thing, and one thing only: revenge. I went home late that night, long after her lover had gone. She was in the kitchen, and she smiled when she saw me, asking where I'd been. The casualness of her deception was staggering. I played along. I told her I'd gotten held up at work, that I'd already eaten. I became an actor, playing the part of the devoted husband, while a storm of fury brewed inside me. I needed a plan. I started by doing some digging. It wasn't hard to figure out who the man was. His name was Mark, a wealthy, arrogant businessman she'd met through a work event. I thought they were being so clever, so discreet. But love makes you blind, and betrayal gives you perfect vision. I watched them. I learned their routines, their meeting spots, the little lies they told to cover their tracks. The more I learned, the colder my anger became. It was no longer a fiery rage, but a block of ice in my chest, fueling a calculated mission. I wasn't just going to expose her. I was going to dismantle the life she thought she was so cleverly building behind my back. My first move was financial. Chloe had always handled our joint finances, and she loved to spend. She had expensive tastes, always wanting the latest designer bag or a luxurious vacation. I quietly started moving my own money, securing my assets. I consulted a lawyer, the best one I could find, and got all my ducks in a row. I documented everything. Every late-night text, every secret meeting I covertly photographed, every lie she told me. I was building a case, not just for a divorce, but for my own vindication. While I was doing this, I continued to play the perfect husband. I even suggested we host a big dinner party for our anniversary, our 6th anniversary. She loved the idea. She saw it as a grand celebration of our love. I saw it as the perfect stage for my final act. She invited all our friends, our family, and, at my subtle suggestion, some of her important work colleagues, including her boss. She even managed to get Mark an invitation, introducing him as a new client she was trying to impress. The audacity was breathtaking. The night of the party arrived. Our house was filled with laughter and music. Chloe was glowing, moving through the crowd like a queen in her castle. Mark not far from her side, the two of them exchanging subtle, knowing glances. They thought they had it all. They had no idea they were a king and queen whose castle was about to be reduced to rubble. After the main course, I stood up, tapping my glass for a toast. The room fell silent. All eyes were on me. Chloe looked at me with a proud, loving smile. It almost made me sick. I started my speech, talking about our 5 years together, the home we built, the love I thought we shared. I could see people smiling, touched by my words. Chloe was beaming. Then my tone shifted. But sometimes, I said, my voice steady and cold, things aren't what they seem. Sometimes the person you trust the most is the one who betrays you in the deepest way possible. A confused murmur went through the room. Chloe's smile faltered. I looked directly at her. I thought we were building a future, Chloe, but you were busy building a secret one with someone else. And then I looked at Mark. Weren't you, Mark? The color drained from their faces. Before anyone could react, the large TV screen on the wall, which had been displaying a slideshow of our happy photos, flickered. The slideshow was replaced by a video, a compilation of my evidence. Photos of them meeting at hotels, copies of their romantic text messages, short, grainy video clip from a hidden camera I'd placed in my own car, capturing a very intimate conversation between them. The room was in stunned silence, broken only by a few gasps. Chloe's boss stared at her, his expression one of pure disgust. Our friends and family looked from the screen to Chloe, their faces a mixture of shock and pity. Chloe stood frozen, her face pale, her perfect evening shattered. Mark tried to slip out unnoticed, but my brother-in-law, Chloe's own brother, blocked his path, his face a mask of fury. I let the video play for another minute before I turned it off. I turned back to Chloe, whose eyes were filled with tears of humiliation, not remorse. Our anniversary is off, I said, my voice echoing in the silent room. So is our marriage. I then looked at the shocked guests. I'm sorry to have ruined the evening, but I think you all deserve to know the truth. The party's over. People began to leave quickly, avoiding eye contact with Chloe. Her perfect world had imploded in the most public way imaginable. Her reputation was destroyed, her friendships were fractured, and her affair was laid bare for everyone to see.
Damn.
In the end, I was left standing in the ruins of my marriage, surrounded by the debris of a life I once loved. Was the revenge sweet? For a moment, yes. Watching the smug looks wiped from their faces was satisfying. But it was a hollow victory. It didn't erase the pain or the betrayal. It didn't bring back the man I was before all this. The divorce was swift. The evidence was overwhelming. Chloe got nothing close to what she expected. She lost her job shortly after, the scandal being too much for her company. Mark disappeared from her life the second the trouble started, proving he was never more than a selfish opportunist. Last I heard, Chloe had moved back in with her parents, her life a shadow of what it once was. As for me, I sold the house, that beautiful home that now held only tainted memories. I moved to a new city, started a new job, and began the slow, painful process of rebuilding my life. The anger has faded over time, replaced by a quiet sense of closure. I don't know if I'll ever be able to trust someone so completely again. Scars are deep, but I'm learning to heal. Revenge didn't fix me, but it gave me the power to close a chapter of my life on my own terms. It allowed me to walk away not as a victim, but as someone who fought back. And now, I'm finally looking forward again, not back. It's a long road, but it's my road, and I'm taking it one day at a time. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've been through something similar, know that you're not alone, and that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.